I'm going to jump into a number of different topics, but I also want to say that they've hired the criminals to literally be involved in the rebuild of Santa Rosa. What do I mean by that? James Witt, he's a former FEMA guy, and he came out of the Clinton era as the Federal Emergency Management Agency administrator. He's here in town. He's tapped in October to lead the fire recovery nonprofit Rebuild the North Bay. He headed FEMA in the 1990s, but more recently founded a corporation called EB5 Global Management, LLC, which seeks to capitalize on a controversial U.S. law that grants fast-track permanent resident status to foreign nationals in exchange for large investments in this area. They will take $5 million and of course above and guarantee citizenship and 10 jobs. They're harmonizing the rebuild. They're moving in and creating a different society here in Sonoma County. That's what's behind this. And so, but we have many behind the scenes. I want to talk about this because, like you, I've wondered, how on earth is all of this being funded? How can they spray us every day overhead with the jets, cause fires, cause global weather upheaval, and pay for all of this? Well, one of the ways is the CAFR. Maybe many of you have heard about the CAFR. It's a comprehensive annual financial report that each incorporated city and each incorporated county, they're all doing business. They are incorporated. They do not work for you. You think you vote these people in. You do not. They run the Delphi technique. They have policies in place that are predetermined. This is all over the country. This is all over the country. It's not just here in Sonoma County. The CAFR report is important to understand, and I would recommend that everybody check out some videos. Actually, a friend of ours did an excellent video. His name is Jerry Day, and he explains the CAFR in the most logical terms that I've heard. But the bottom line for the CAFR is it's a deliberate and massive swindle that is perpetrated by every government agency from your local school district all the way up to the federal government. So all of the agencies, we're talking the public health departments. We're talking about all the agencies. They are all agencies of a corporate government setup, and they are stealing money. They're doing a double bookkeeping. Any of you that are accountants, you'll be loving to dive into this CAFR. It's a big plot to steal all of our public funds. As soon as our revenue goes into government, they skim off millions and trillions of dollars, and they put it in the corporate funding on the New York Stock Exchange. It is an enormous money laundering scheme to finance the takedown of all of us. They offshore our jobs. They're reducing America into literally being taken over by robots. How many of you have heard about all the robots? Okay. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. Because in the NASA War document, they tell us this. You can download this from stopthecrime.net as part of the NASA War document. This is just a collection of some of the pages, but they say this. The presentation is based in all cases upon existing data, trends, analysis, technologies, no pixie dust. This is about robots, cyborgs, and humans. We're in a transhumanization period of time. This is why the massive genocide. This was put together by the U.S. Air Force, DARPA, the CIA, the FBI, Southern Command, Atlantic Command, the Australian Department of Defense, and many others. This is a global plan. This is what they said, and when I was looking for this and found this about 5 years ago, I was horrified. because I didn't think when I saw this that this was anything relevant. It just said circa 2025 future war. And I thought, well, I'll just scan it and see what it looks like. And I came upon, interestingly enough, page 66. That was the first page I hit when I opened up this document. Here's what it said. Increasingly critical are human limitations and human downsides. Humans are too large. Humans are too heavy. Humans are too tender. Humans are too slow physically and mentally. We require huge costs, and humans have rapidly to decreasing negative value. They are replacing us. We went to a meeting down at the Dominican College a few years ago, and I found this information that I would like to read that is unthinkable. It talks about the changes that we're going to experience. And while I'm hunting for that, I'm going to tell you about this, because we're in a war of frequencies. We're in an amped up world of frequencies that we can physically, we can't survive. 5G is coming in. We did a YouTube. I would recommend everybody take a look at it. Lou and I went to an IEEE meeting in San Jose a few years ago. We paid a lot of money to attend. They tried to steal his camera. They had him backed up against the wall, and we were able to convince them that we weren't going to give them the camera, but instead we got a letter from their Park Avenue, New York law firm saying if we used any footage of the filming there, they would sue us. So what we did was we took copious notes, and it's up on YouTube. It's called IEEE, Technology Future Death Trap. Again, IEEE, I-E-E-E, Technology Future Death Trap, Deborah Taveras. IEEE stands for Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, and they meet globally all over the world, and they design your future. And it is all done on the Delphi technique. Those engineers that were at these meetings from all over the world were put at tables with the easels and were asked questions. These people really, engineers, don't know how they're being led into the demise of the plans that they are creating. And it was surreal to see the Delphi technique being orchestrated every single place we went. But I want to talk to you about what I just found on the IEEE website about 5G, and 5G is coming. And that's why I have the YouTube, the Cooking of Humanity. I would certainly ask all of you to take a look at the Cooking of Humanity. And in order to understand what the Cooking of Humanity is, Lou and I flew up to Portland, Oregon a few years ago to interview Barry Trower. He's considered a foremost expert globally on weaponized warfare. And we went up there so that we could interview him. I'm going to read a few things that he tells us. And then I'd certainly urge you to all look at the YouTube, The Cooking of Humanity. In every year since the 1960s, I trained the government microwave warfare establishment. I looked at all aspects of microwave warfare. I had a lot of expertise in the microwave field, and I was asked if I would carry on with this research. He said we are in a new Cold War, and this is why countries all over the world are developing microwave weapons. He says, I really mean they are developing microwave weapons. And this is why all the microwave transmitters are going up everywhere, because somebody, if they wanted to, could use them for other effects, and they are. They're doing that now. The system is up and running. Years ago, our government said to its scientists, when it comes to microwaves, you will only talk about things to do with heat. That's it, only to talk about heat. So they won't even discuss anything else other than heat. They will deny anything that doesn't have anything to do with heat. They even deny all their 40 years of research leading up to this, although they've said that this heat can cause cancer and all the damage, they say no, it can't. We're only looking at heat, and that's all that matters is heat. So, he said, for the last 40 years, the English government has been lying to the people, and the American, Canadian, and Australian governments and other global governments have been lying to its people. They have been lying to protect industry and to protect their profits. So they're really liars, and it's provable, sanctioned by the World Health Organization. Without a shadow of a doubt, it is the same people that sit on the ICNAP certificate, they sit on our government's health protection agencies, and they sit on the World Health Organization. It's all the same people. There are probably no more than 20 people that control everything. But yes, they're going to, in my opinion, commit the worst genocide this planet has ever known. Not just people, but animals and plants. They are probably going to use more destruction and cause more destruction than a global war. And in several hundred years' time, people will look back, whoever is able to survive, and look at what we tried to do to stop them.